Hi, today I'm going to show you 3 fun and easy ways you can improve your spoken English to become more confident and fluent when you're by yourself, all alone. I'm really excited to show you these tips and tools, so let's get started. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Miranda. I'm an English teacher, and this channel is my hobby, offering grammar lessons, pronunciation lessons, and advice on how you can improve all your skills in English. Perfecting your English does not need to be difficult. In fact, it should be fun and easy. All it requires from your side is a little bit of time and discipline, and together we can reach your desired goal. It's not impossible to improve greatly in your spoken knowledge, even if you don't have a one-on-one teacher or someone to practice with every day. So I'm just going to go through some of those tips with you today, and let's start with number 1. So my first tip is finding a chat partner. So I spent the last couple months researching 2 apps. These are online apps. One is called HelloTalk and one is called Tandem. And with these apps, the idea is, well, first of all, they're learning apps. So they have little courses you could take, learning tips, not just for English, for several different languages. And what the idea is you can do these little exercises. You can post a story. You can then look at other people's stories and correct them if you wish, or learn from them. So these apps are very similar. They're both based on the idea of finding a tandem partner. So either you teach your language and learn from a native speaker of English, or you could find a chat partner who is also an English learner, and you can chat with them in order for both of you to practice and learn for each other. There are a few differences between these 2 apps, which I'll show you now. So first, let's take HelloTalk. So this is the first app I'd like to show you. This is called HelloTalk, and you can download this onto your phone. It's probably the best way to use this app. And you can see here that it's a chat app, and you have the option to make a kind of story, so you can post as you would on Facebook or any other app, information or maybe some pictures or articles you find interesting. You can post there and get feedback from other users. You also have the chat option, so you can make a profile about yourself, what you'd like to learn. You'd like to learn English, what you can offer. Maybe you offer your mother tongue, or you just like to practice English with anybody. You can put that all in your profile. I would recommend being very specific in your profile, because there are a lot of people on this app and everyone has a different idea of how they want to learn. Some of them are just there maybe to chat randomly with people and aren't real serious learners. So you can browse through other learners and contact them if you want a chat partner. Here it says you have the option to text, to have voice, and to have video. Now, I'm not sure you can have an actual conversation. I think the voice is in the form of text messages and voice messages. So you can communicate back and forth, but you can't actually have a conversation where you interrupt each other, which is not very natural. I only took the free version of this app, so it could be that this option is only available for members. Here, just to show you the corrections. Look, this is so nice. So you're chatting with someone, and then if you see they make a mistake, you can correct them, and the program is so nice for correcting. You just cross out the word, and then it gives an option to correct it, and the app actually gives you the correction for English. So that is a very nice option and a very nice feature of this app. And yeah, and then there's a kind of story page where you can check out what people are posting. That's also interesting for learning. So this is HelloTalk, and I would recommend it for you. Let's go on to the next app I reviewed. So this chat app is called Tandem. So a tandem partner is just someone who you have a language exchange with. You can teach them your language and they can teach you their language. But of course you can also use this app simply to practice with other non-native English speakers. So look, they have a lot of languages here. Yeah, you can put in your language and see if maybe there's a demand. Maybe if an English speaker may be looking to practice your language, then you can do an exchange with them. Here's some testimonials, and it's very similar to HelloTalk, but I believe they have the video and voice in the free version. They also have a translation feature and correction feature, which are all very nice. And my experience with both of these apps was that it could get overwhelming with all the contacts and people wanting to chat. So be selective with your profile, be selective with your boundaries and what your expectations are in this app. I think a lot of people just use it for fun, to get to know people, maybe use it even as a dating site. So be careful, take care of yourself, make sure you make it clear that you're there to learn a language and to get the most out of it, and find a partner who can challenge you. So if their level is too low, maybe you'll be teaching them more than they're teaching you, which is fine. Teaching English is also a way to practice and to become more confident, but you want to find a partner where you can learn from them and teach them, and you both get something out of it. Okay? So I really recommend you give this one a try. My next tip for you is called Dictation.io. So this is a very interesting app because what it does is it looks just like a page, a piece of paper, and what you do, you just need a microphone, and you go to this page, and what I want you to do is either to read something or to speak freely into your microphone while using this app. And what it does is, let me show you, let me see if it works now. Good morning. My name is Miranda. Nice to meet you. So you see that it writes as you speak. And what this does is it allows you to either read aloud to check your pronunciation, because of course if you misread a word, if you don't pronounce it right, it won't be written right. So if you could just either read something from a book or from a magazine or from the internet, you could just read it like a dictation and then check that the words are all spelled correctly. That's one way to check your pronunciation. If a word is not pronounced correctly, you can go back and try to say it again multiple times until it's spelled correctly, then you know you have the pronunciation right. See that? It writes it all out. So if you speak slowly, it is more real time, but this is a wonderful resource you could use. You could also use this if you have to write a paper and you prefer to speak. Okay? So some ideas I have are you could listen to a podcast, read a news story, or watch a television show first, and then explain onto this page, into the microphone, the story as a dictation, and it will give you automatic feedback about your English. And then you can go back and read what you were speaking about, and you can also see if you can find any grammar mistakes, if anything pops out to you. I know you're not an English teacher, so maybe you won't find all of the mistakes, but you'd be surprised how many things you can see after just checking your work and checking your language. So that brings me to my third tip for you today, and this is a site called Vocaroo. This is a very simple site. So what I want you to do here is, you see it's just a button. It's just a simple button, and what you do is you click on the button. Hello, I don't know if it's working because I'm using my microphone and webcam for this recording, but let's see. Okay, then so I click to start, I click to stop, and then it has a save and share button. So this is a recording that I've just made, and if I click here, I get the link. I can send it to someone or I can send it to myself. Let's see if I can hear the recording. Hello, I don't know if it's working because I'm using my microphone and webcam for this recording, but let's see. This seems very simple, and it is very simple, and the reason I would recommend you doing this is because I think it's good to have awareness of your language. And when we're speaking freely, often we don't pay attention to the grammar and the vocabulary we're using and our pronunciation, which is fine because when we're speaking, we're concentrating on our fluency, also important. So if you would take the same tasks I gave you for the dictation.io site, and instead of speaking it as a dictation, you could just speak into the microphone and record yourself. For example, you can listen to a podcast first, read an article, or just summarize your day and speak freely for 3 minutes to 5 minutes. It's plenty of time. And then listen to yourself and see if you can catch any pronunciation problems or maybe grammar or preposition problems. You can check the grammar. This is a really good way just to have awareness of your level and to see where you think you need improvement. Maybe you can listen 2-3 times, make some corrections, and do another and then do another recording. And in the next recording, you can see if there was an improvement in your fluency, if you could speak faster or clearer. So the point isn't always to speak fast, but to be understood and to speak clearly, and it's all about practice. We need to use our muscles in our face to make these sounds that exist in English that maybe don't exist in your language, and practice always makes perfect. So these were the 3 tips I have for you today. I hope you find them useful, and I'd really love to hear about your experience with them. If you want to try them out, then please do so and let us know how it goes in the comments section. I'm also going to find all the links to these apps in the description box so you can go in and start today.